Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. Remember, you have greatness inside of you. Welcome back to another HABS Daily News with your hockey coach, Guru Coach Frenchy. Today, episode number 101. What do you have on the menu today, Coach? First of all, we're going to talk about a new series called the Montreal Canadiens under 25 years old. Then I'm going to talk about the possible Montreal should sign a PTO to a veteran hockey defenseman. Then I'm going to talk about trade bait Montreal Canadiens versus Anthony BEAUVILLIER. Of course, we're going to give you some update about the World Junior Championship 2022. And finally, we're going to give you some news around the NHL today. So don't go nowhere. Here we go. Before we start, we invite you, don't forget to click on the like, subscribe to the Hockey Nation Live Show, and below this video, please tell me what you think about the episode 101. Let's dive in and talking about the first subject of the day. So the first subject of the day, guys, is all about the Montreal Canadiens, the top 25 under 25 years old. So to be part of this under 25, you have to be sure you are not older before April 2nd for each year. So this is what I'm going to talk for the next couple of days with the HABS Daily News. And the reason we start this is because yesterday we talked about the Montreal Canadiens, their depth chart from the top to the bottom, from the Montreal Canadiens, the Laval Rocket, the Trois-Rivières Lions, and the East Coast Hockey League, and the NHL prospect they have so far. So what is very important, today we're going to talk about who graduate, who are departure, they left the team, and who are the new players under the 25 years old. Then we're going to start now with the graduate players. Otto Leskinen is now turned 26 for the upcoming year, and he was a part of Montreal Canadiens for many years before he left for 1 year play in the KHL, returned for this year with the Montreal Canadiens. Three other players I want to talk about is Ren Pitlick. Is another one right now. He's going to be too old to be a part of the under 25th. I want to talk about Samuel Montembeault. Is another one. Is a little bit too old to be a part of this series. And I'm talking now for the departure. The one left the Montreal Canadiens, and they are here. Alexandre Romanov. It was straight a couple of weeks ago to the New York Islanders. He was really great. And this standing in the last couple of years, you can see the number, guys, per year is the player was ranking under the 25 years old for the Montreal Canadiens prospect. So Romanov in 2021 was number 3. 2024 was number 4. And you can follow this all the way to 2018. The second player I'm talking about is Ren Poulin, left the Montreal Canadiens on the trade with Jeff Petrie to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Since 2017, he moved from 14, 7, 4, 9, and 6, and the ranking NHL under 25th. Josh Brock, he left. He never get his qualification as a RFA. Left for the Montreal Canadiens after a really bad injury. He was a part of the Montreal Canadiens since 2017. You can see he go from 24 to 13. Never reached his full potential as the right defenseman with the Montreal. Now he's signing a PTO with the Calgary Flame. The goaltender Michael McNevin, he was with the Montreal since 2016. Was traded to the Calgary Flame. And again, is another prospect, never reached his full potential. Jacob Olofsson, honestly, the Montreal did not resign him, did not offer any contract. He was another player, never been great in the NHL prospect for the Montreal Canadiens since 2018. Finally, the contract termination with Arcel Kisamitinov, now returned in the KHL, never been a part of the top 25th and the Montreal Canadiens. Let's move on now, guys, for the new one. The new people show up with the Montreal Canadiens by trade or as a UFA or RFA. First of all, the Montreal Canadiens under the 25 years old, they got their send last season with Montreal, they signed the undrafted Aber Jack. Then they got on the trade Emil Henneman for Taylor Toffoli, Ty Smilanic for Ben Chariot, Justin Barron, Arturi Lekonen, trade Ammon for Nate Schnarr. Then they got signed as a UFA Lucas Condota, NHL Draft 2022 Gerard Stavkovsky. They trade a pick for Kirby Dack, Philippe Mézard, Owen Beck, Lane Hudson, Vincent Rohrer, Adam Engstrom, Cédric Guindon, Gerard Davidson, Emmett Croteau, Petri Nurmi, and Michael Tournier, all new players upcoming or newcomer for the Montreal Canadiens by the draft pick 2022. So that they all now add more players, honestly, for the top 25 under 25 years old. So that gives you an idea. Montreal is getting better and better on the prospect, and some of them at some point they're going to play for the Montreal Canadiens. In that series, guys, for the next couple of days, I'm going to talk about this, the under 25 years old for the Montreal Canadiens. Let's move on now, guys, for the next subject of the day. So I want to talk today, guys, about the Montreal Canadiens for a PTO. What is a PTO? It's a professional tryout you invite for the main camp. I want to share with you a couple of players possible Montreal should pay attention. And I'm not saying they have to, but I think maybe could helping. We know Montreal Canadiens struggle on the right defenseman. And I think a veteran like Andon Stralman under $1 million contract could add a solution of what they don't have at this moment inside of their roster. That will maybe helping that side. And I understand someone who's going to be penalized for maybe a young players, but at some point Montreal is not strong enough with only Savard, Whiteman, and Justin Barron as a right defenseman, and they will have to move a left defenseman on the right defenseman. So possible the 35 years old Andon Stralman could become a solution. The second veteran players I'm talking about is Kevin Dehan. Is finished his contract with Chicago Blackhawks last season, and he never played at a high expectation, but he's a left defenseman, but he played a lot on the right defenseman. Possible Montreal could sign him just in case something could happen. And I don't know if Dehan would like to play for the Montreal Canadiens, but as a PTO, nothing wrong to invite Stralman, Dehan, and possible. And then this is maybe a long shot. Antoine Roussel, why, coach? But if it does not work with Michael Becerra, or maybe I understand the Montreal have a roster of the forward, but if you want to add more muscle, I think Russell is a little bit more legit at Becerra, and I think that would be a good asset for Montreal Canadiens to get Roussel inside of this lineup. Again, this is not an obligation for the Montreal Canadiens. I'm just sharing with you an idea what the Montreal Canadiens could fix really the right defense. And with all the UFA they have right now available, Stralman, Dehan, and Roussel could fix at least some problem of the Montreal Canadiens. Let's move on now for the next subject of the day. And the subject I want to talk, guys, is about Anthony Beauvillier. Why? But first of all, the New York Islanders announced is going to try to move one forward because they have some problem with the salary cap. For me, can Beauvillier become a good asset for the Montreal Canadiens? Look what he did so far in 6 years since he's in NHL. 9 goals, 21, 18, 18, 15, and 12. Last year, he struggled with the New York Islanders like the team, honestly. He never reached 40 points since he's in NHL. He's only 24 years old. I'm not sure if it's a great advantage for the Montreal looking for him. The New York Islanders are not looking to get a player's back. They're looking to get a pick in return. And for me, the only way can have Anthony Beauvillier is two ways. A 2-round pick or Mathis Nylander. It could be one or the two could be trade for Anthony Beauvillier or both of them. I'm not sure. I just give you an idea what you can get in return Beauvillier. The only way this could be works because the Montreal Canadiens have some problem with salary cap. They are under only $200,000. is to be sure Barron and Carey Price are going to be on the long-term injury reserve. Or they could trade, example, Armia, Hoffman, Biron, or the goaltender Jake Allen. That's the only way what Montreal could get Anthony Beauvillier to put him under the salary cap for the upcoming year. Here's my thinking about this. When you see all the stats of Anthony Beauvillier, guys, it's not impressive. For a guy carrying a salary cap of $4.1 million, it's almost the same way with Joel Armia at 3.4. So for me, I'll be honest with you, the rumor we heard a lot about Beauvillier to come with Montreal, it's maybe not a great advantage for the Montreal Canadiens, and I would not make that trade, to be honest with you, because it would be at the bottom six Montreal. Another player is going to carry on a big asset of salary cap at 4.1, and I don't see him to make Montreal Canadiens better in the present or in the future. So my thinking today about Anthony Beauvillier, I'm not going to trade if I was Ken Hughes with the New York Islanders. Let's move on now, guys, for the next subject of the day. Here we go, the World Junior Championship 2022 update. Honestly, no game yesterday. Why, coach? Because today it's all about the quarterfinals. 4 games on the program. We start at 12 o'clock Eastern Time until tonight. We have Finland versus Germany, Sweden versus Latvia. We have Canada versus Switzerland, and USA play against Czechia. The winner of each game move on to the semifinal. After that, they're going to play for the medals of the tournament. Very interesting to see how the Canada and the US is going to do. Honestly, they are the two-team favorite for the finals going happening August 20. We're going to give you all the results about this game tomorrow. Let's move on now for the next subject of the day. Here we go, the last one of the day, the NHL news around the league. First of all, we don't have a lot of things to talk about today, but we heard late last night the Chicago Blackhawks signed Jack Johnson a 1-year contract for $1 million. Oh my God, you talk about one of the worst defensemen in NHL. This is Jack Johnson. And he fit with Chicago Blackhawks, but they really want to tank and try to get Connor Bedard or Mitch Carr for the upcoming NHL Draft 2023. And with Jack Johnson, it's maybe an advantage for them to get that defenseman. And we know he won the Stanley Cup with the Colorado Avalanche last season, the 35-year-old veterans. Finally, I want to talk about the NHLPA COVID-19. They have an agreement between the NHL and NHLPA with a new assessment about the COVID-19. They'll have to be, they have a new rules, new obligation, and they have to follow still the situation with Canada and the USA. I don't want to go deep with this subject, guys, but I just want to say they have an agreement between the NHLPA and the NHL for the upcoming year about the COVID-19. This guy complete already all the news around the league. NHL very quiet at this moment of the year. Of course, it's August. We'll maybe be that way for the next couple of days, maybe a week before we return a full time with the NHL at the beginning of September. That's it, guys. We complete another episode of the HABS Daily News with a hockey coach, Coach Frenchy. But before we leave, of course, don't forget to click on the like, subscribe, and definitely leave me a comment about this episode number 101. And I want to remind you, you have greatness inside of you. Have an amazing, blessing day, everybody.